Welcome to This Explainer. Listen, if you hold an Indian passport and you got your sights set on that stunning skyline of Singapore, you are in exactly the right place today. We're essentially creating your ultimate cheat sheet. We're going to take all that tedious administrative paperwork, all that tiny fine print from the Immigration and Checkpoints Authority, and distill it right down. By the time we wrap up, you're going to breeze right through this entire process.
Because, let's be honest, are you ready to explore Singapore? It's so exciting to plan a trip like this. Maybe you're already dreaming of wandering beneath those massive super trees at Gardens by the Bay. Or, maybe you can literally already taste that incredible street food at the local hawker centers. Yes, the bureaucracy and the visa paperwork can feel kind of overwhelming at first glance, but unlocking the door to the Lion City is absolutely worth it. We just need to get the admin out of the way first so you can actually get to the fun part.
Okay, let's dive into this. To reassure you right off the bat, this process is definitely not some impossible maze. It actually boils down to just 5 simple, really logical steps. We'll be looking at who needs this visa, gathering your documents, translating safely, the application process itself, and finally, fees and collection. That's the whole shebang. Just 5 manageable steps between you and your boarding pass.
So, step 1. Who exactly needs this visa? Specifically, we're talking about Indian passport holders.
It's pretty straightforward, actually. If you're traveling on a regular Indian passport, yes, you do require a visa to enter Singapore. However, there are a few exceptions. If you happen to be holding a diplomatic, official, or service passport, well, you get a free pass. No visa is required for entry. But for the vast majority of us traveling on regular passports, we need to go ahead and proceed to the next phase of our journey.
Moving right along to step 2, gathering your documents. This is your prep for success.
All right, here are your core requirements. First up is the Form 14A. Now, it must be completely filled out and signed by you. Remember, your entire application is judged on what you declare right here, so accuracy is absolutely key. Second, you're going to need a recent color photograph taken within the last 3 months. And seriously, don't try to reuse that old photo from 3 years ago. They definitely check. Finally, you need a photocopy of your passport's biodata page. And honestly, that brings up a brilliantly universal travel truth. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months from your actual date of entry into Singapore. Please go check your expiry dates right now before you even think about booking those flights. Now, while that core checklist gets most people through without a hitch, you should definitely be aware of Form V39A. This is also known as the Letter of Introduction. The Immigration and Checkpoints Authority explicitly notes that this, along with maybe some other supporting documents, might be required on a case-by-case basis. So it's not a universal requirement for absolutely everyone right out of the gate, but it's really good to know that they might occasionally ask for a bit more support for your application. Don't panic if they do.
Step 3. Translating safely when it comes to official documents.
If your documents aren't in English, you absolutely cannot just translate them yourself or run them through Google Translate. You really only have 3 acceptable methods. Number 1, getting a translation provided by the embassy of the country that issued the document. Number 2, a translation produced by a notary public, and that can be either in Singapore or the issuing country. Or number 3, a privately created translation, but, and this is a big but, it must be attested by the embassy or properly notarized. Now, here is an explicit warning directly from the ICA. They do not endorse any private translation companies. If your documentation is insufficient, your application just won't be accepted. So play it safe and stick strictly to these official routes.
Okay, step 4, the application process, and how to actually submit everything.
So there are basically 2 distinct avenues for applying, and it depends entirely on whether or not you have connections in Singapore. Option 1 is applying from within Singapore. If you have a local contact or a strategic partner there, they can actually submit your application online using the local e-service on your behalf. Super easy. But option 2 is applying overseas. If you don't have a local contact, you simply submit your application at the nearest Singapore overseas mission or through one of their authorized visa agents. Let's think about how this fits into your actual travel timeline, because getting this schedule right is crucial to a stress-free trip. The official advice is to apply for your entry visa within 30 days prior to your arrival in Singapore. You really don't want to apply too early because the visa has a very specific validity window, but you definitely don't want to leave it to the last minute either. So aim for that sweet spot. Apply within that 30-day window, allow at least 3 days for the standard processing time, and you will be perfectly set up for day 0, which is your arrival in Singapore.
Step 5. Fees and collection. We are finally at the finish line.
Okay, first rapid fire number you need to know, 30 Singapore dollars. That is the processing fee. Keep in mind it is entirely non-refundable and you've got to pay it online using a Visa or MasterCard credit or debit card.
The second rapid-fire number is 3. Your application will generally be processed within 3 working days. But remember, this strictly excludes the day of submission itself. Also, while 3 days is the standard average, some applications might take a little longer. That's because every single visa application is completely judged on its own merits.
So the crucial point is this: what actually happens when you are finally approved? Do you have to wait for your passport to be mailed back? Do you have to go line up at some embassy to collect a physical sticker? Absolutely not. If your application is approved, your local contact, your strategic partner, or your authorized visa agent simply uses the e-service to print out a copy of your e-visa for you. That's it. There is no physical pickup required, just a simple paper printout that you'll carry right alongside your passport.
So, your e-visa is printed, your bags are packed, and that entire bureaucratic maze is officially in the rearview mirror. You've got the knowledge to bypass all that stress. But I guess the real question is, now that you actually have the keys to the Lion City, what hidden gems of Singapore will you discover first that aren't just in the standard guidebooks?